What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we are continuing our look at all the new cards from Keyforge Age of Ascension. It's time to look at logos. I've already done Mars, I will link that one in the description, and hopefully when I do the others, I'll link them as well. We're not going huge analysis because there's like 28 of them, but what we are going to do is take a quick look at all of them, see what they do, and give a snap judgment. So starting off, one of the first cards we had revealed, Archimedes. 2 power, no armor, and it's got elusive. The first time it's attacked, it takes no damage. And each of Archimedes' neighbours gain destroyed, archive this creature. And then of course you can pull them out your archives at the beginning of any turn you like. That could be kind of nice, although it could end up with you archiving multiple different houses worth of creatures, which could get awkward. Because then you're clogging up your hand with creatures you can't play, and then at the end of the turn you're not drawing as many. Binate Rupture. It's got alpha, so it's got to be the first card you play during the turn. That's one of the new keyword skills. And each player gains Ember equal to the Ember in their pool. This is awesome, ladies and gentlemen, but under the caveat of you've got to time it right. It is at the start of your turn, so you can't gain a bunch of Ember and then play it. I love this card, but please do remember that you can play it at the wrong time and it goes very badly. Cutthroat Research is an action card that gives you an Ember bonus, and if your opponent's got 8 Ember or more, you steal 2. It won't stop them forging a key, but it might put them 1 away. And then you can steal 1 more, and then you win. Or at least stop them forging a key. Igor is a 2 power, 0 armor creature. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 to your hand, and discard the others. It's really nice as draw. You only get it when you play, not when you fight or reap. But when you play it, you get nice draw, and you can probably find a logos card, on average you will, because 1 in 3 cards are logos in your deck. It's kind of how it works. But you do run the risk of discarding stuff you'd rather not. Helperbot I like very much indeed. Helperbot, when you play it, you may play a non-logos card this turn. It's literally phase shift, but as a coming into play ability of a creature. You get to house cheat. House cheating is awesome. Hexpion is a 2 power, 0 armor creature, and when it's destroyed, you archive Hexpion and the top card of your deck. Yeah, logos are doubling down on archiving this time. Again, you could end up archiving from all 3 houses, and that's going to be awkward when you draw your archive. You can only play some of the cards, and then your hand is a bit clogged up. Pip Pip is a 2 power, 0 armor creature, and after an enemy creature reaps, you stun it. We saw a couple of these in Mars in the previous video as well. Reaping after stunning is a big thing in Age of Ascension. Poke is an action card that gives you an Ember bonus, and you deal 1 damage to an enemy creature, and if it destroys a creature, draw a card. Like all of those Shadows cards that deal damage and steal, this deals damage and draws a card. But you also get an Ember bonus, so I'm okay with it. Professor Sutterkin, 2 power, 0 armor, and when you reap, you draw a card for each friendly logos creature. This can be absolutely amazing. Wonderfully amazing. Depends how many logos creatures you've got down, but if you've got a lot, that's a lot of draw. Standardized Testing is an action. When you play it, you destroy each creature with the lowest power and each creature with the highest power. This is a pick your poison kind of thing. Don't play it if it's going to get you. Play it if it's going to get your opponent. Titan Librarian is a 4 power, 0 armor creature. And at the end of your turn, if Titan Librarian is not on a flank, you archive a card. So you can build up a really big archive here. ZYX Researcher, 2 power, 0 armor. When you play, you archive the top card of your deck or the top card of your discard pile. Remember, in Keyforge, unlike other games, the order of your discard pile is set and is extremely important. The good news is you'll know what the top card of your discard pile is. The top card of your deck should, if you're not cheating, be a bit of a mystery. Backup Copy gives you an Ember bonus, and when that creature is destroyed, you put it on top of your deck. So put it on a creature you really like. I mean, I like this with something like Helperbot, because then you get to play it again and house cheat. I love it. Director of ZYX has Elusive, along with 3 power, 0 armor. And at the start of your turn, you archive the top card of your deck. Once again, it's archiving, which is fun, but once again, it's random archiving. And random archiving, I'm going to stop saying this in a minute, it runs the risk that you archive cards from all 3 of your houses, and when you get your archives, you end up with 4 or 5 cards that are not of the active house, you can't play them, and then your hand is clogged up so you don't draw at the beginning of your turn. Random archiving can backfire. Eureka is an action with an Ember bonus, and it's got the new alpha keyword, so it's got to be played as the first thing on your turn. You gain 2 Ember, and you archive 2 random cards from your hand. Lots of random archiving here. Phyla the Researcher, it's a 1 power, 0 armor creature, and it's got elusive, which means you have to attack it twice to get rid of it. After a creature is played next to Phyla the Researcher, adjacent to, you draw a card. Okay, it's only going to draw you a couple of cards, but that's alright. And to be fair, if you can get rid of your flank creatures, or use something with deploy, or just have some KO'd, you can keep doing this. Logos draw cards, this is good at drawing cards. Jar Goggle, 2 power, 0 armor, and it has elusive. When you play it, you put a card from your hand face down under Jar Goggle, and when Jar Goggle, really fun to say, is destroyed, if it's your turn, you play the card under it, otherwise you archive ready to play it later. I love this. It basically lets you stash a card that you don't need now for later, and that means that you can always get it when you want to, assuming you can destroy it, or it gets archived, but it means it's not clogging up your hand at the end of the turn when you want to be drawing. Go Jar Goggle. Memory Chip. It's an artifact, and it's got a permanent skill. After you choose logos as your active house, archive a card. The good news is it's deliberate, not random archiving, which means that you do get a choice of what you put down. That's huge, because again, you just stash a card you want later in your archives. You know it's there, you can get it when you want it, but it's not clogging up your hand. The thing is, it's every time you choose logos as your active house, you might end up with some turns where you don't want to archive anything. Quantum Finger Trap. It's an artifact, you get an Ember bonus when you play it, and it's got an action. Swap the positions of 2 creatures in a battle line. Maybe you put Phyla the Researcher on the end, so you can play something next to it and draw a card. That is one of a million different examples. I adore this, and because it's an artifact, you can use it on every logo's turn. Seismo Entangler. It's another artifact, and it's got an action, choose a house. During your opponent's next turn, creatures of the chosen house cannot be used to reap. This is wonderful, ladies and gentlemen, because you can see what your opponent's got on their side of the field. So what you do here is make sure you choose a house where they've got lots of characters already down, and then you guarantee none of them can be used for reaping next turn. Tell me that doesn't sound like fun. Now, Redacted is one of my very favourite cards in the set, though I don't know how good it actually is in practice. What Redacted does is, it's an artifact, and when you choose logo as your active house, you place 1 Ember from the common supply onto it, and when there are 4 Ember on Redacted, you sacrifice it and forge a key at no cost. Free keys! The problem is, there's a lot of artifact hate. And your first logo's turn, you play it down. So really, it's your 5th logo's turn where you actually get enough Ember on here to forge a key. And you might not have 5 logos turns in the entire game, or your opponent might play some artifact hate. It looks flat out amazing, but then I look at it again and I go, well, I'm not 100% sure, though I do think it looks kind of fun. Entropic Swirl, it's an action, and when you play it, you choose a creature. For each trait the creature has, you deal it 2 damage and gain an Ember. And there's an awful lot of creatures out there that have 2 traits. Hey, 4 damage and 2 Ember? Yes, please. We're getting Fetch Drones. It is an artifact, and every turn, when you use it, you discard the top 2 cards of your deck. For each logo's card discarded this way, a friendly creature captures 2 Ember. And yeah, sure, your opponent can get it back when they destroy the creature, but until then, it's yours. Master the Fury, an action card that gives you an Ember bonus, and when you play it, if there are no friendly creatures in play, You may archive a card for each enemy creature. That could be an awful lot of archiving. Project ZYX. It's all been leading up to this, because they're the other ZYX cards. 5 power, 1 armor, and when you fight or reap, you may play one of your archived cards as if it were in your hand and in the active house. That's redonk, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely redonk. It's house cheating, but it's from your archives, and we've seen how good Logos is at archiving in Age of Ascension. I love this card. Scientifical hack, artifact, ember bonus, and it's got an Omni ability. You sacrifice it, and for the remainder of your turn, you may use all of your artifacts. You can use all friendly artifacts as if they belong to the active house. Now, if this is the only artifact in your deck, yay, ember bonus. But if you've got other artifacts, this could be phenomenal. Shard of Knowledge. Now, all of the houses have a shard. Clearly, this lets you draw a card for each friendly shard. The shards all do something for each friendly shard. This draws a card. The more shards, the better. Incidentally, it is an artifact, and so you can use it every turn. Yay! And then we have the Curator, which is a creature with 3 power, no armor, and all of your friendly artifacts enter play ready, which means you can use them straight away. Tell me that doesn't sound like a bit of fun, and I might call you a liar. There are some really good Logos cards in this set, ladies and gentlemen. Cards that I'm extremely excited about, like Redacted and Project ZYX. I'm a little bit psyched about Age of Ascension, and don't worry, I know that's only 2 houses, but there's 5 more houses to go. They'll all be coming over the next couple days. But for now, I'd like you to tell me what you think of all these new Logos cards. Go nuts in the comment section. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about games like Keyforge and a whole bunch of others. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.